Now we've seen how to work with symbols and how to create them. Let's take a look at one other thing that we can do with actually any of our graphic elements in the program, and that is transforming them. Up in my tool palette, I've got the Free Transform tool. And when I click on that, you can see that it takes whatever I have selected and adds some handles all the way around the outside. These handles let me easily grab this object from any point and stretch it and transform it. Pulling on the corner gives me control over vertical and horizontal at the same time. And if you hold down the Shift key, you'll get a uniform transform. So you're simply making the object bigger and you're not distorting it. You can grab the upper handles or the lower handles to simply stretch in a vertical direction, or the sideways ones to get a horizontal scaling. Now this tool goes way beyond just scaling, because you might have noticed if you move your cursor just around the outside of the corners, you'll also see a rotate icon. We can just click and spin our camera around. Now notice it's spinning around a center point. That also is movable. If you grab that center transform point, notice this is not the registration of the camera, it's something separate. When I try to rotate my camera now, it'll rotate around that new pivot point. One last thing we can do with the Free Transform tool is I can place my cursor in between the handles and I get a skew tool. While I've still got the camera icon selected, let's use the Transform tool to just make our camera icon a little bit smaller so it fits in this gray area at the top of our website layout. I'm going to move the transform origin back to the center, because that'll make for easier scaling. I'll hold the Shift key down so I get a nice uniform scale, and I'll just pull it down a little bit, and we'll click away from our camera and see that looks pretty good. I mentioned you could use the Transform tool on any of the graphic elements on our screen, so let's zoom out and try that a little bit. Again, that's Command- on the Mac or Control- on the PC. I'll press the space bar down to get my hand tool. We can center it up. And I could actually drag a marquee icon around everything on the stage, and you can see with my Free Transform tool selected, it's ready to transform everything all at once. I wanted to do a little transformation on the text, so let me click away from that. I'll select the text, and you'll notice that I can transform the text with that Transform tool just as easily as I can the other graphic elements. We can also get a little bit of transformation in the Align panel. If I go up to Align panel, if I use the Match Size tool, again, make sure 2 stage is off. I'll use a horizontal matching for the width. And now all of my text has been stretched to match the same width. We'll just line it up with a centering tool. And now we've got some more interesting looking labels for our buttons. I can pull them out just a little bit more, and they're looking pretty good, so I'll click away from them and deselect.